a lifelong fear of ever having to take a pet in to get put to sleep at the vet's office. And I've just been wanting to put it off and put it off and put it off and never wanted to have it happen. The last two dogs we had were Bud and Zildjian. And Zildjian had a heart attack on the kitchen floor one Sunday afternoon while we were fixing dinner and just checked out. And then the other one, Bud, was deaf and blind. And so he didn't even know what was going on, but it took him about 2 days to figure out that I guess that Zildjian was gone. And so he attached himself to me and he followed me everywhere. Even though he's deaf and blind, he would know that I was moving to another room or something. So I would get up and try to sneak by. So if I was just going to go get something and come right back, I didn't want him to get up and follow. Anyway, one day I was sitting in the bedroom. I have a little meditation room and I was just sitting there being quiet and meditating. And I would keep the door really shut for, make sure it was shut, because he would come in and he just would sit and lick all the time, it was just really get on your nerves and be very distracting. So I guess this one particular day, I didn't shut it all the way, and he came in. He walked up to me and he just kind of put his head up against my shoulder like this, like this. And I heard this voice say, "Mom, I am so tired." And I thought, oh my gosh. So I went online and I checked to see, how do you know when your dog's in pain? Because he was really old, probably 14, 15 years old, and obviously not in great health. And I came up with this website. It says, how do you know if your pet or your dog is in pain, from this vet? And he said, they will go outside and walk around in circles. They'll pant all the time. They'll lick all the time. They'll pant when it's not even hot. And he was walking around, had his tail between his legs and his claws were all curled up like this. And it was like, oh my gosh. And I said, all right, he's telling me he's ready to go. So, and I called and I made an appointment and I couldn't get it till Monday. So that means I get to live with this till Monday, that I'm going to put him down. And so I just went into the mode of being in the moment and not even thinking about it. It's like when you have to go to the dentist and you're going to hate it. And so you just don't even think about it till you're actually there. So I didn't think about it. I didn't tell the kids. I didn't want any drama about all this, saying goodbye and all that stuff. So on Monday morning, I was working at the Red Cross. I was a volunteer for the Red Cross. So I just would say to myself, okay, right now, I'm working at the Red Cross, and then I would do that, and then I would say, right now I'm eating lunch, and then as I would come home, right now I'm driving home, and then I would go, okay, now I'm putting him in the car to take him to the vet. So then I get him over to the vet, and they had like 2 emergencies come in while we're sitting there. So I'm sitting out in the van with him out in the back, and he wouldn't have been able to get out of the van. If he would jumped out, he would have probably fallen over. So I'm sitting out there with him for 45 minutes. Waiting for this to happen. So finally they come and get him, and we go in. And the vet was a friend of mine. It was she was like in our spiritual group, and I knew her. So anyway, so she said, she puts him up at the table. She says, all right, come on, get over here. So she wanted me to get up there and at least have my hand on him. So it was such a fascinating experience. And she just gave him a shot, and then he wasn't there. And it was so amazing. Like, you hear about the phrase dead weight. Well, when when he's dead, if you rub him, nothing moves. It's just solid. So anyway, so that was it. So we cried, and it was okay. And the vet cried. She hugged me. We're all just, all choked up about it. And so I actually lived through that episode. My husband said he was very proud of me that I was so brave, because he was not willing to go take him. So anyway, so then later on, my son Danny had a dog that was just at the edge, and just getting so bad. And we were taking him to the airport to drop him off to go visit some friends. And so we said, they were talking about how bad Jessie was. No, what's her name? Whatever her name. However bad this dog was. And I go, we get down to the airport, and I go, I'll take her in if you want me to. And I guess that Danny and Katie kind of talked to each other while we were getting the bags, and they decided it was okay. So they said, okay, go ahead and do it. So this was a Friday, and it was a long weekend, and I'm surprised the vet was even open. I called him, and they set an appointment to take him tomorrow. So then I took her in the next day. Chessie was her name. Not Jessie. Their daughter's name was Jessie, but Chessie was the dog's name. So anyway, I took her in, acted like I knew what I was doing, the same vet. And I cried more on that one. I don't know why, but anyway, I cried all the way home. But anyway, so I got to where I was able to do that. So it's like the old fear the fear, feel the fear, and just do it anyway, So I did that, and I'm able to do that. I could do it again. I know that it's okay to just cry. A lot of times you just don't want to cry is the reason you don't want to do it. But But that was a really good experience of just, oh my gosh, just being in the moment, just being right in the moment now, and staying with this and quit worrying about what's going to happen a couple days down, just like what's happening right now and right that. And every moment everything was okay until I was actually taking him and then saying, okay, now I am taking him in and we are putting him to sleep and all that. So anyway, it was quite an interesting experience, and I grew from that, and I'll be able to do it again next time if I have to. It's so funny because I was afraid of it my whole life, and it was such an easy thing to do, actually. So I hope you never have to do it, but if you do, it's not the end of the world. You can just go and you hug him and you love him, and then you just, you're still going to be okay the next day.